My name is Mika Luoto. I started triathlon in the beginning of 90s. I also did pro triathlete career about 10 years. I was 5 times in Hawaii in pro category. Every time I was in top 20 and twice in top 10 also. I retired triathlon about 15 years ago, and I started to coach Finnish athletes, Finnish triathletes, and have done it since that. And now, last 3 years, I've been working for National Federation, Finnish Triathlon Federation, and now I used to be a coach, national coach, and now I'm a coach. I am a coaching manager, but I also do a coaching for national team and my own athletes. Incident, then I started to find out what is it, and I asked for the friends who had been done these tests and realized that this could be really good for our national team athletes, especially for the long distance athletes. Yeah, I was a little skeptical about how much extra value would that bring us and how accurate the results that you can get. Because if you don't go to the lab and you just do the field test or test with your own bike, which is perfect, but if you don't go to the lab, how accurate results you really can do and can you rely on them? We did a couple of tests first with the INSCYD and then compared these results for the same athletes, of course, when they did the lab test. So we had lab test and INSCYD test and found out that the results were really, really accurate, very similar, even if they did that without lactate and oxygen uptake test. So it was really good. We use it mainly for two reasons, of course, because the remote tests are much easier to do. You don't have to book the lab weeks before. You can do it when you feel that you have to do. So we can do this more often and easier. We do both with lactate and without lactate. So if we don't want to athlete to push full effort, then we do the lactate test. Sometimes it's good. It's easier for the athletes. But the PPD test, of course, is even easier for athletes to do because you don't have to take the lactate. So even the coach doesn't have to be there. And that's why we do that. It's easier and you can do more of these tests. We want to have more precise metabolic profile. So we want to know exactly how much carbohydrate the athlete uses when he rides the bike at certain power or runs at certain speed. So we can plan the better training and also plan the races so that he or she would have enough energy to finish the race. And of course, plan the right power they could use during the race to do the best results. For some athletes, we have found that they have way too high VL max, especially if they do the longer half distance, half Ironman or Ironman races. If they have high VL max, we have to try to reduce it to become more efficient, not to burn too much carbohydrate. So we have planned the training so that they would rate more on the fat max zone. I think it brings more flexibility. You can do the tests whenever you or your athletes need to do that. You don't have to book it beforehand for the lab. And also it brings more accuracy to the race planning. How hard you can push on race and still do to the finish line and how much you would need energy for that effort. So I think these are very useful for other athletes, other coaches to know.